Got a bonus video for you today. I just had an epiphany and a realization and a vision all in one. There's a lot of Americans, so on, people all around the world are praying for this virus to magically disappear, and it's not going to happen. So in the meantime, trucking professionals, farming professionals, and the like are the backbone of America, and this will continue until we all learn to appreciate trucking, and also to be able to appreciate not only trucking, but also be able to appreciate the beautiful gift we've got in front of us. The ability to sit back, take a deep breath, with no recourses for our actions for not showing up to work. I want you all to consider this. Go check out my farming channel, Farming with Chef Matt Hammerschmidt. I've got quite a few words of wisdom and education within it. It's one of my favorite channels to work on. I've been working on growing it, and I encourage you to check it out. I have a bunch of content on it that ties into this particular video right here quite well. Okay, as a chef, I work with large varieties of food. I'm going to show you all what my staple items are right here, right now in my kitchen. These are my staple items. Freeze-dried yellow peas, freeze-dried green peas. These are mostly organic. Brown rice. Freeze-dried beans of the pinto bean variety, as well as one of the more native beans to my area. This is these are the variety of beans that are called they're Northwestern beans. Okay, these are an actual variety here. One of the more organic varieties out there. Okay, now let's carry on here. I have other staple items in my kitchen, one of which I have yet to tap into lately. These are kidney beans, mostly organic. And those are freeze-dried as well. So in size order, you've got from largest to smallest, you have kidney beans, pinto beans, and northwestern beans. You got Pacific Northwest beans. Now there's one more staple item. These are widely used by a lot of indigenous. These are lentils. These are freeze-dried lentils. Right now, keeping all of that in mind, as long as I keep them dry, they last a long time. And the way I can explain it is that I'd like to encourage you all to begin your own garden right now. Well, Monday morning, go out to your yard and begin planting a garden. If you've never planted a garden before, if you've never ever planted a garden before, check out my buddy Cody's channel, Wrangler Star. Now, I cannot legally disclose exactly where he lives. Then I'm going to abstain from it in general of disclosing his location. But what I can tell you is he lives, admittedly, in an area that is highly remote. Now, I want you all to consider this. This is really going to surprise you all. I've actually met him before. I know for a fact he doesn't remember me. In general. I saw him back in Washington Firestorm 2014. Now, here's what I really must explain to all of you. And what I must explain to all of you is that I was sitting back for quite a while watching it. I was one of the few people. I left a note on the fire truck with a couple of apples for each of the crew members sitting right there. I remember the note like it was yesterday. It said, "May these apples keep the doctors away from each of your men and yourself and the men above you for the next 2 days. Remember, Johnny Appleseed." And I walked away. I walked past, so I was passing him. I said, "There's some apples for you on the truck. You and your crew earned them. You and your crew needed them." It was a very chaotic scene, a lot going on, as he was distracted at the time. Whether or not he found those apples, I don't know. Whether or not he found the note, I don't know. But if he did, I'd like to see pictures of the trees he grew with those apples, whether they be on his homestead or whether they be out near where that fire was. I was fully geared up, very covered up, never would have been recognizable even to those who I'd met before in general. I had just come out of a structure fire nearby during Firestorm 2014 when those men lost their lives in Twisp. And then I got reassigned to another, back to my hometown. To protect the command post. And I did my duties very effectively, very quickly. And we were able to, I completed that task in a mere 2 days. And checked in on it on the third day and was dismissed with the news of 3 Twisp men passing. Now, the day I started my mission, my tasks near my hometown, my mother had passed. Now, my cousin was over at a different fire camp, and I've done a lot of wrong, and quite frankly, I admit I'm not perfect. The issue with America is the fact that there's excessive amounts of monetization. I'm not working towards retirement. Not. Never have, never will. I'm working towards doing what I love and finding more tasks that I love and enjoy and do well in them, and I'm gifted and talented to be able to accomplish very well and effectively. I ask if you all let me know in the comments. Should I get a P.O. box for fan mail? And I don't ask anyone to send me anything, but people have been telling me it took them a long time to be able to find me to give me some fan mail. It happens about once or twice a year that someone finds me with some fan mail and delivers it to me while I'm on the job. Ironically, when I go to Spokane. One thing that's important for you all to remember is that I love my fans. I really do. And I know there's quite a few people that I've touched the lives of that are trying to figure out how to reach me privately, more privately than email, people that like snail mail. But my question is, do any of you feel it'd be worth it for me to get a P.O. box for you all to be able to send mail to? And just one of the questions I have, and just let me know in the comments. I need to touch bases here on what happened today. That caused me to realize all of this. Something that I personally do is I read every single comment. I don't reply to all of them. Not because I don't have time on my hands to be able to reply to them. that song about God's greatest gifts are at times unanswered prayers. Well, when it comes to YouTube content creation, some of the best comments are unanswered comments. It just really is. I just completed my baptismal interview today. It's March 22nd. My baptism is on March 28th. Well, that's in 6 days. Something that is truly interesting here is, upon completion of the interview, the mission president walked up to the gentleman with the priesthood who had driven me there and recommended me personally for priesthood, and I humbly accept. For those of you who are members of the LDS Church, I ask of you to take highly into consideration your vote does matter. I ask everyone to understand this. In this upcoming election, your vote matters. I have one favor to ask of all of you. Get off your butts, register to vote, and in the November primary, go vote. Every vote counts. The only way to change America at this point in time is to either go violent, which I really strongly and highly recommend against. I strongly and highly recommend we vote these career politicians out of office. They want to put a term limit on our president. We can put a term on them in the vote booth. And I ask of you all to understand and take into consideration that I've got a lot on my bucket list. It never grows, it never shrinks. Just adjusts. When I complete something on my bucket list, I either replace it with a different goal, or I set the goal, but this time I step it up. Step up that goal every time I achieve it, and at times I put the goal, well, my goals sit on the back burner quite a lot. It wasn't necessarily my primary goal to get a recommendation of the priesthood. But if the priesthood's asking me, I'll do it. I'll tell you right now. Diane's asking me on behalf of the people of the world. It's going to be on God's terms. You're going to have to battle him, not me. God's not going to magically make coronavirus or COVID-19 or any illness just magically disappear. He leads us. He guides us. COVID-19 is not going to disappear on its own. God's not going to make it disappear. We need to band together and take this as a very valuable lesson learned. The lesson we have to learn is that large amounts of industrialization got us in this massive disaster we're in. There's a lot of conspiracy theories. There's a lot of things that people are saying. The elements of truth within some statements are very hidden. I can honestly tell you that there's been pandemics roughly every 100 years, dating back to the Han Dynasty. That's about as far as I've made it in my research. About as far back as I've made it in my research of the historical writings. In the Bible, all of the scriptures within the Gospel Library app, things are dating back long before recorded history. Long before recorded history. When I made it to the very first day of recorded history in my history research that I've been doing lately, the Han Dynasty was already well established. Now, you take the Han Dynasty and you go to the scriptures and you look at it, time frame of the pandemics experienced, the pandemics to come, the issues to come, based on what have already happened. Rome wasn't built in a day, nor was Egypt. Rome fell. The Roman Empire fell miserably because it did not abide by the scriptures. Now, I'd like to continue on with this statement. Egypt still stands today. What's left of it, at least. The Arabians, now called the United Arab Emirates, are still around today. However, the Saudi Arabians tie in with the Han Dynasty. This part requires reading between the lines and examining things from other angles and cross-referencing biblical and historical documents and translations from the rocks in the Stone Age, the brass plates from the Brass Age. We're living in a very fragile state as humans. We put ourselves that way. Living in an apartment is not a good way of living. Period. It's not. Too many banks got a bailout. Not enough people got a bailout when it came to the terrible bank loans that have been done. The four major banks that are still around because of because of this bailout have only made lives worse. Now the American government wants to bail out the airline industry. I'll tell you how it's going to go. History repeats itself. It does. The airline industry, much like the banks, are going to be far bigger money powerhouses as a result of this bailout that's going on. As big as the banks. You know, the people that got you by the cojones with these bullcrap, excessive duration mortgages. It's bullcrap. You don't need a 30-year mortgage. What you need to do, You need to learn how to hide away money in different locations. Another thing you all need to understand is this. Those who do not know history are doomed to repeat it. Former high school teacher Lincoln Bryant stated that quote. He's right. Until you people learn history, pandemics will never end. They'll just keep coming around every 100 years. Every 100 years, pandemics. By the way, abortion's the true pandemic, not COVID-19. Abortion, not COVID-19. Abortion is the true pandemic. Ignore what's being said about COVID-19 right now. Abortionism is the pandemic. COVID-19, nor any other virus, not the flu, nothing, has ever come close to the deadly, how effectively deadly abortion is. Abortion has a 99% death rate of unborn children. 99. The 1% that survive it suffer severe issues. They suffer very severe issues, and I will not stand for abortion. I stand against it. Now, I also stand against any and all chemicals that a doctor wants to pump into anyone. I'm a living testimony and a living testament that you don't need a chemical to live or survive. Think about it. And I want to give you a few pieces of advice. You put chemicals out into your body, it's the same as doing drugs. All legality is a piece of paper. It doesn't make it right or wrong. It doesn't make it moral or immoral. That's where you need to look at the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not kill. Yet, abortion, people are choosing to abort. They're choosing to kill people. And they get away with it because of legality. We cannot allow this to happen. Abortion's the true pandemic, not COVID-19. COVID-19 is a cover-up to the real pandemic of abortion. It's been spiraling out of control. I don't care what the rate of abortions are. The issue is they're still allowed. Most of our government is a leech that won't die off, nor will it ever go away, nor will it leave us until we do something about it. Donald Trump has exposed how truly overfilled the swamp is, and he's draining it. Donald President is my president. Understand this. If Donald Trump is your president, send your check from him to me, and I will make sure it goes to a really good cause. Because if you receive a check from President Trump, send it to me if you don't view him as your president. See, past the dollars and cents, you have two choices. Either Donald Trump is your president and you cash the $1,000 or whatever amount it is, or he's not your president and you give it to someone who actually likes him and appreciates him for who he is. It's that simple. If you're a dumb rat, dumb rat. If you're a Democrat, let me explain something here. You're liberal, whether you identify by liberalism or not. Liberal amounts of control, not liberal amounts of freedom, is what you're for. The Conservative Party is about conservative amounts of control with liberal amounts of freedom. Your liberal views are liberal amounts of control, limited amounts of freedom. With that, I leave you on that. Testifying in the name of God and Jesus Christ, our Savior. Amen. Tune in for another video at another point in time. Drop me a comment. Throw me a rating. And if you haven't already and you continue to watch these videos and have to keep searching for them, allow me to make your life easier. It's that red word next to the channel name that says subscribe. That red word that says subscribe. Go ahead and click it. If you keep searching for my name, you may as well subscribe. Seriously, come on. Check out Farming with Chef Matt Hammerschmidt. Thank you.